Hello everyone. Today we're looking at a game that was played in Cap d'Agde. It's a French Mediterranean city, and maybe go do your own research on the place. And all I'm going to say is hopefully the players were wearing clothes during this game. So, okay, we've got e4, e5, knight f3, and the world number one female player gives our Mr. IM Kobese as roller pairs, and he's pretty comfortable. He knows his theory. So the game was probably continuing very quickly. Bear in mind, this is a rapid game, 25 minutes plus 10 seconds per side. And okay, this is all the theory. And the only real interesting move happens in this position. Bishop e3. And to my mind, Bishop e3 was busy looking at the center for Judith Polgar. And it was also preparing to go Queen d2, make room for the queen. So these were the types of ideas. Also possible for it to have played was just knight e3 or queen e2. Both a bit different, but bishop e3 with something else in mind. And it's at this point that I appreciated Watu's idea. He just goes and plays g6, saying, okay, you just moved your bishop. I dare you to go move your bishop again to h6, where it will be doing nothing, and you've probably just wasted a tempo. And this move is very nice, and he plays it with something else in mind as well. So now Judith goes queen d2, and this is Watu's idea, knight h5. And he's going to fianchetto his knight now. So Judith decides to go g4 and use some space on the king side while she still can. Now knight e7, the knight's fianchettoed, and now knight e3. Not going knight g3 immediately, keeping it behind this pawn. So you've moved this pawn. You don't need to move the knight away again to be able to move this pawn. That's kind of the idea. Now a5, Watu starts play on the queen's side. The knight's fianchettoed and keeping the king safe. It doesn't seem too clear how black's going to continue attacking on the king side. So he starts playing on the other side of the board, which is good because a lot of his pieces are already there. So now king h2, preparing to bring those rooks in over to the king side, and a4. And both sides play relatively accurate chess. Now bishop h6 and d5, closing the position. And now Watu plays correctly. He knows that he can open this A file one day and double his rooks, so he starts so immediately. And Judith keeps some tension in the position. She feels that it might open up in the center, so rook a d1. Maybe she still wants to be able to bring the queen in to c1 if necessary, out of the way of this rook. So she feels that c1 isn't the square for the rook. A takes b3, opening up that a file, and now rook a2. And immediately you realize that the a file it's black's property. There's no contending for it. You can't go rook a1, just simply rook a8, and the tension remains there. When black trades down into this endgame, he will be completely fine. So she doesn't want to trade down any pieces yet, just rook e2. And we have b4. And b4 is a very nice move because, okay, white doesn't want to recapture this pawn because then all black's pieces have entered the game, and it's not too clear what you're doing about this bishop. And okay, you don't want to go c4 as well because this closes the position, and it's clear that black is going to have a more comfortable day at the office in this position because of all the space you're already occupying in white's camp, and your knight's are ready to maneuver while white's, it's unclear what they're doing. So and the a file, sorry, that's the biggest perk. That's what you're playing for. So instead, Judith just goes queen e3, preparing to recapture the pawn with a queen. And it's in this position that I already started realizing that black has got some things going for him that white doesn't necessarily have. Like, for instance, this weak b pawn and the potential to use the a file and maybe even the b file. So, okay, maybe this should have been the point where Judith decided to start playing for the draw. Watu goes bishop b5, and now rook e d2. Bishop d3 would have been deciding to go for the draw, just trying to trade more pieces and acknowledge that, okay, maybe Watu's just been playing brilliantly, and the knight g7 maneuver was a great idea. But instead, she goes after bishop b5, just rook e d2, holding on to the pieces. Maybe she feels she can still win. Rook a3 now, a very nice move. preparing to play c4, and then the b pawn is pinned to the queen. So just simply queen b2 attacking the rook, but rook c8 now. Rook c8, and black has got full control of the a file. We have rook c1, and this is also contending for the c file now, but now rook a2, pushing the queen back to c3, and Watu repeats. It's not clear whether he would have gone for the draw of queen b2. Maybe Judith was scared that, okay, if she goes queen b2, maybe Watu's used his time. It's a game with increment, and he's found something else he wants to do instead. He feels he's got positional control. He's the one controlling the repetition or not. And if you go queen b2 and Watu decides to do something else, for instance, just bishop f8, now your queen is suddenly on b2 in this position, and clearly your queen is better on c3. So if Watu decides to play for the win, then your queen's misplaced on b2. So instead, Julia just goes bishop b1, feeling that this is some kind of improvement. And now Watu goes queen d8. The point being, he wants to push c4. If you were to push c4 immediately, the move queen b4 is actually pretty strong for white. And this forces you to go queen c5, trade down queens, and go for an endgame where white might actually stand better with the connected passed pawns and the weak isolated pawns, or at least one isolated pawn on c5. So you don't want to do that. And also, just to make another point, after queen b4, you can't go rook takes b3, defending that bishop just because of queen takes b3. And your queen is pinned and you're down some material now, losing the game. So in the game, just queen d8 from Watu, preparing the c4 break, and now queen b2. And okay, maybe just take a moment and evaluate the position. We see black has got the a file. Black's king is relatively safe as well, and a better pawn structure. The b3 pawn is very weak. So yet again, I think maybe this this game has gone a bit awry for white now. So it's in this position that black actually decides he's going to play for more, knowing that there's a lot to play for now. Knight e8, deciding not to trade down the knight for the bishop, because now this bishop is actually useless because of the pawn structure on this pawn format of d6 pawn connected to the e5, c5 pawn. And also, white's bishop is now useless. It's not coordinating with the queen. There's no attacks on the king side. Black's going to be able to do more with this knight now than white can do with the bishop. And this is a very good idea, to hold on to the knight. We have bishop e3 saying that, okay, well, my bishop's doing nothing there, so maybe let's bring it back to the middle game. And knight e7, rerouting the knight. We have g5 going for some space on the king side, and bishop f8, rerouting the bishop. h4, and now bishop d7. This is really the moment where, okay, Watu's moved this bishop back. He's obviously got something in mind, and you need to realize that this is probably where the bishop is coming to. So it's now that that Julia goes king g2, and it seems like she's preparing to play rook h1 and just defend the knight because Watu has moved his bishop to d7. But actually, Watu just moved the bishop to make space for the knight on b5. He didn't have any direct ideas here. It was to go knight b5. So bearing that in mind, king g2 was a mistake. So this is what I like about this game. It's so double-edged. He's playing on both sides of the board. It actually confused his opponent. Instead, after bishop d7, having realized what his real plans are, going knight b5, Judah could have played bishop d3, and bishop d3 would have been aiming to go to e2 and meet b5, knight b5, just by captures, and also be able to recapture the knight on f3. So this is what I like about this game in particular and what's his style. This is a deep positional idea. So in the game we have knight b5 after king g2 and h5. Not trying to play on the king side, but okay, the game is pretty over now. Just this bishop defends really well, and the idea of this knight is to go to d4, and we can see how nicely this knight maneuvered, going all the way here. And I'm not even sure where this knight started off in the game. It started off here and went to h5, So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 moves for the knight to get where it really wants to be. Just crazy. H6 by Judith, realizing that you're not opening up this king if you capture the pawn here. You just simply f takes, and black's fine. Black's even going to have the f file to play with, so you don't want to do that. So just h6, and now bishop d3, but bishop d3 is too late now. This knight is coming to d4. And actually here, Judith should have tried rook c3 to hold on to the position for a bit longer. But the point is now black can play f5, and black has expanded massively on the king's side. You can en passant the pawn, which is probably the best idea, but just bishop takes. And the same point applies here, that black has got amazing play. This knight is defended really concretely. Instead of going en passant after f5, going e takes f5, black can simply play g takes f5, and these pawns are pretty poisonous and solid, and recapturing here always walks into some kind of tempo idea, and then these pawns start rolling. Black's king is yet again very safe. This bishop has found a nice home. So in the game, after knight d4, just bishop takes d4. Getting rid of that knight because it's a solid piece over there. And now what to place correctly? E takes d4. You want to hold on to this square for your bishop, and also just lock down the c file for this rook. And this is just amazing for many reasons. You can also, his plan now is to bring bishop to g4. And the only real thing you can do against this bishop coming to g4, getting rid of the defender, and then going after this pawn, is actually pretty crazy, and Judith doesn't find it. It's rook b1, and rook b1 followed by bishop g4, and then queen c1, because the point is you also need to hold on to the b3 pawn in this variation, and now you simply need to be okay with losing these two pawns in any case. So, but it's pretty lost here already, so just queen c2. Just giving up this pawn in any case, knowing that bishop g4 is coming. There's not much to do. She gives up the g5 pawn voluntarily. Bishop c8. And another nice point here is there are no back ranks actually. You've got the only open file and you're playing very comfortably. So bishop c8 makes sense. And yet again, clearing room, making sure the bishop's not in the way of this knight coming to e5. We have knight f3, queen f4. And now e5 is played. And this is probably because Judith is scared of this knight coming here, so she's trying to throw this knight off. But what defines all the important tactics? Just knight takes d5, bishop e4, and now knight b4 with tempo, queen c4, and now what is really just entering the position? Bishop a6 also with tempo, queen needs to move again, and now d5. And d5 is just such a great move. We're going to see now it removes the knight from defending, the bishop from defending the knight. And you've closed down all of white's prospects with this massive pawn block. So we have the move bishop b1, and now rook takes b3. And this is pretty nice. You're threatening to play rook takes b1. Okay, let's just see. Okay, so, and you're threatening the knight. So the knight needs to move. So there's no holding on to material anymore. Knight h2, and now simply rook takes b1. And the queen needs to take, removing the defender of the d2 square, and now just e6. And her last idea is to maybe sacrifice a piece on g6, and like the rook, and then maybe to make some kind of perpetual. But this isn't really a threat, just f takes e6. And white is playing up a full piece comfortably. Queen a1, this discovery doesn't work, because queen can still just take the bishop, so just rook f8, bringing the rook to attack this pawn. Knight g4 defends it, and now just queen f4. And black is bringing all his pieces to the party pretty soon. Queen d1, defending the knight, and now just bishop d3, rerouting this bishop into the game. Stopped with f3, but now the final move of the game, e5. And I don't know, there's nothing to do. This is just a massive pawn block. And to a degree, it also looks like a face with the eyes here and the mouth. So Judith sees this scary face and just decides to call it a day and resigns. I hope you liked the video. Please remember to not lose on time and press that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys soon for more videos. Thank you for watching.